What's going on, guys? Welcome to. Yeah, good. Happy Sunday. Good to have you all on Sunday to get some good information. But I want to welcome you guys to Legacy in Motion. This is the new business channel to teach young entrepreneurs, young go-getters, anybody, it don't matter what level you are, to just go out there and do it and to be successful at whatever you do. Any idea that you do is a great idea because you thought of it. And that's why we're here today. We just want to teach you guys some tools. We want to teach you things that we've done over the years. I've been pretty much in business for 14 years, almost 15 years. I had a music company. I had drop ship. I did drop shipping. Now I'm into marketing and course creation for you guys to actually teach you some really good information, some tools that you can take with you to be successful at anything, no matter if you're doing your own business, your nonprofit, anything that you want to do. So I'm going to let Greg start off by showing a little bit of background, and then I'm going to chime in on my background.
Everyone. Just like Lionel was saying, this is to provide information to everyone so they can understand how to start their own business and be successful. A little bit about myself. After serving in the military, I quickly realized that the transition to civilian life was a whole new challenge, especially when it came to starting and running a business. Like many veterans, I faced uncertainty, a steep learning curve, and a frustration of not having the right guidance. I had big ideas, but didn't always know where to begin. And that was when I realized how critical it is to have accessible, reliable information when starting a business. In starting a business, I realized and focused on how to share lessons learned from both the success and the mistakes so others wouldn't have to face those same struggles. After transitioning from the military, I knew I wanted to build something that could help others succeed, just like I had to figure out how to succeed in my own business journey. Starting a business doesn't have to be a guessing game, and I want to make sure that you have everything you need to build something that not only survives, but thrives. And this is where we begin our journey.
Yeah. That's one thing that I feel like it'd be some good information to give to especially military, getting out of the military and trying to transition over those skills and to make it either if they want to work for a company or if they wanted to become an entrepreneur. We both was in the same boat trying to figure out what we wanted to do. We both did work for the government. We did contracting, and now like we working in the workforce also and also have our own businesses too. So we have a little bit of knowledge of everything. So the other thing too, we do monitor our chat too. So if you guys have any questions about certain things or certain levels of thing that you guys have about taxes or just how to structure your business, just send us a text or send us a message on the chat. I'm monitoring right now. That's what I'm looking at. And we can answer those towards the end of the show. So what I mean, this is our first episode, so I'm super excited.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to like give a little bit of history on the reason why we call it Legacy in Motion and why we decided to start this. We touch bases on why we want to start the channel, but I want to kind of give a history about Legacy in Motion, what it means to us, and why we doing what we do every day and grinding it out. Me personally, I think it's for my family, my kids. I feel like being successful is a more important thing than being rich because when you're successful, you can create success for others. I'm a true believer of that. But everything I do every day is always doing something to make things better for everything else that I'm trying to do.
When I think of legacy in motion, it represents more than just that name. Celebration that our dreams, our values, and our work ethics are moving forward.
Mm.
Yet, and when you look at businesses across the platform, you look at businesses overseas, you look at Black businesses. And if you think about military, African American businesses, regular business, all businesses, spectrum, in Colorado Springs is where I'm at. There's only 1.3 to 3% military African American business owners. And then if you look at across the US, it's right around 3%. And if you look at different platforms of how businesses start, it starts with having that fear. And I think that's where we get after it more is first you have a fear and you figure out what you want to do and then you just do it. And sometimes you listen to people say, in order to be successful, you first have to fail. And when you fail, that all that is knowledge. And that's information that you're getting to be successful.
Right. That's a good one. I was in the same situation where, just having that fear of failing, having that fear of just taking that leap to actually get to that next level. And you're going to have that to actually become something because people's going to hate, going to be people that's going to doubt you. And that's what I said in the beginning. Like, if it's an idea that you come up with, it don't matter how broad it is. It's something that you think of, but you got to put in the work to get to that next level.
Oh, yeah. You also, yeah. And how I look at it is getting to the next level in business isn't about luck. It's about discipline, consistency, and vision. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger and
Right.
to level up. We must stay focused on our goals, keep learning,
Right.
never lose the drive.
Right. So I want to give some knowledge today. Like, I know it's
That
not
doesn't
first
come
episode,
overnight.
but we're gonna drop
And that's how we got to look at
some
it.
diamonds for you guys. We did give the background, but if you guys have any more questions, just hit us up in the chat if you have any more questions about why we started this and what this channel is about. But I think we should touch on like things like lesson learned, things that we small little things, touch on things that we experience and what we gain from that and that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Just like Lionel was saying, this is to provide information to everyone so they can understand how to start their own business and be successful. A little bit about myself. After serving in the military, I quickly realized that the transition to civilian life was a whole new challenge, especially when it came to starting and running a business. Like many veterans, I faced uncertainty, a steep learning curve, and a frustration of not having the right guidance. I had big ideas, but didn't always know where to begin. And that was when I realized how critical it is to have accessible, reliable information when starting a business. In starting a business, I realized and focus on how to share lessons learned from both the success and the mistakes so others wouldn't have to face those same struggles. After transitioning from the military, I knew I wanted to build something that could help others succeed, just like I had to figure out how to succeed in my own business journey. Starting a business doesn't have to be a guessing game. And I want to make sure that you have everything you need to build something that not only survives, but thrives. And this is where we begin our journey on this business. You just want to make sure that you have the focus, determination, and the drive for those two things. And you have to lay out a map. It's just like if you're driving across country, you have to make sure you look at a map and say, this is where I need to go. Same thing with a business. Look at it and say, this is where I need to go. This is some sticking points that I need to improve on, or this is where my 50% stop is at. And that's some parts of a business and learning to where maybe you need to refocus that energy. If you have something that's going down, don't be scared that if it's failing or if it's not getting to that productivity that you want, but it's giving you the information and the knowledge to say, okay, this might not be my go-to business or my go-to item. Let me see what else and how that vamps into something else. And it's just different variables like that and understanding A business is not something that you just say, oh, I'm gonna just put $10, $20 into it in my business start. That's not reality. It's not reality. So I would say lesson learned for me. I was like, oh, business easy to start. Let me. I know what I want to do, but let me get after it. It ain't gonna cost that much. I tell you what. Make sure that you're ready to start a business, and like I said, fear is the first thing. Yeah. But if you just get into it and you'll start seeing the progress, you'll start seeing everything that you're doing. And once you get over the hill, it's like, oh man, I feel it now. I see what I'm doing. I got that vision now. And it's sometimes it's expensive, but through learning and preparation and getting the knowledge that we're given, you can tailor back 50% of that cost.
Mhm. Right. Yeah, I fully agree with that. You touched on some of the things I was gonna say too, so I'm gonna elaborate on what you were saying. Yeah. I started my business wow, back in 2000, 2005, 2000, no, 2007, 2008. Didn't know anything about LLCs, DBAs, anything like that. I didn't really get involved really into it until when I was in Kuwait, when I was able to sit down and reevaluate things that I was missing, which I was just kind of just taking things and just going with it. You got to have a plan. Buy a book and write all your ideas down. Figure out evaluate yourself. What's your strong points? What things that you love to do and what things that you dislike to do. Put it all together, and then from there, create. That's what you're gonna develop a business plan. The business plan. I would think that the most boring part of starting a business is the developing phases. Because right now people excited and they want to get in. Oh, I want to do this, want to do that, and they're spending money, unnecessary money that they really don't need to spend, and then they spending too much money, and it's gonna kind of slow down the process. So I always recommend to just write your ideas down, develop a business plan, come up with a plan, because sometimes things are going to change, but at least you have a plan to where you can look at it every day and say, okay, this is what I need to do next. This is the license I need to start this business. This is how I can start this business. This is the cheapest way to do this. And I ran into problems like that when I was first started off. I spent thousands and thousands on dollars on mistakes.
Yeah.
But I learned from the mistakes, and now I'm more efficient at of if I can start a business, I can do it within a week because I can save money because a lot of things I can do myself. I can structure a business a certain way that it could be more of a cash than I'm losing money.
Hmm.
Later on throughout this whole podcast, we're going to teach you guys on how to structure your business and how to find ways to save a lot of money, especially with things like with AI that's coming out too. You can do a lot of things that a multi-million dollar company can do. You can do it with the two people. Even one person can do it. But I learned so much, but my niche is like mostly marketing and developing and creating.
Oh
That's
yeah.
the thing I like to do.
Oh yeah. And I can elaborate a little bit on that. So when I first started my actual LLC, I had Lana come out to Colorado and say, and we sat down, and I had this. I thought was the perfect business plan. I wanted to make these items and use this certain material, and found out that material wasn't for me. And before I developed the initial one, I done spent maybe $400-500, and I threw it all in the trash and started over. So when he says it's you spend money, but sometimes you realize that that is not the niche that you want, and that's a a loss in the business. Don't consider it as a loss. Consider it as that is a a creative advantage, so you don't go backward.
Right.
So and now after that one piece of it, and we sat down again, and I said, "Hey, I got it now." And I figured out it doesn't have to be something that is hard to do. You get the simple things, and it's the simple things that you can create that nobody else is creating, And that's by doing your research. And then that's how you start to create your own product line, your own business title, and your own business mind of your own legacy within a business.
Right. Research, and more research. That's what's gonna put you ahead of your competitors, your
Yeah.
competitors. Because my opinion, everybody's doing the same thing that everybody's doing. But what make your product better than everybody else? What is gonna catch that person attention to buy into what you have, you're trying to sell? Your product, even if your services, anything that you're trying to sell to the consumer, what can make that product better or more that people can gravitate to what you have going on?
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and that's what I specialize in. I will take a product, take an idea, just like when I was working with Greg, take an idea and I would fine tune it to the point where do all the marketing research, we'll do everything to at least have the better advantage over great competitors.
Oh yeah. And I would say an example would be if simple things. If you have a cup, a red cup with a design, and somebody else creates a red cup, similar design, which one is going to sell the most? Because it's similar, you might say, well, it depends on where you at, how the economy's doing. Really, it's how you advertise and how you market that one piece. So I can say I can put a cup in a store and just wait for people to sell it, or I can create a commercial. I can create a tagline for it. I can create a flyer and say, "Hey, these cups are this, and this cup can do this, and it keeps your soup warm for 24 hours." But not only does it keep it warm, it also is dishwasher safe and you can travel with it. You can put coffee in it. But if you don't advertise, the cup in the store is not going to get the sales. But the cup that you're talking about is going to get the sales. And that's what Line is talking about. Have good marketing and advertising.
Right. And that's the other thing too that I wanted to touch base on is starting small. You don't have to have a big multi-million dollar website. You can have a one pager. It's about the marketing, the way that you market it, the way that you get that product out there is what's going to make you money. You don't have to have the most expensive product.
Exactly.
It's just it's the confidence, the ambition that you put behind the product. The confidence that what people's going to draw to, and believing in the fun, the top thing if you want to be an entrepreneur is believing in yourself, because there's going to be days where you know Greg even know, like, I will stay up for I would do 24 hours, and because it's things that is in play that I have to get done, and my ambition and my drive and my believing in myself that I can get it done.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta have that type of confidence. You gotta have a little bit of crazy too. The entrepreneur.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And
Gonna still
like Line, yeah, and like Line said, it's having a drive and having a determination. And sometimes, you know, for me, I watch a lot of motivational speeches in the morning. I listen to a lot of military and big shouts out to David Goggins and I listen to Denzel Washington speeches, motivational. It's just getting up in the morning. Sometimes you say, "Well, I'm tired," but you got to think, what is the other person doing? Are they getting up? They getting up before me?
Mm,
And it's just you saying, I gotta be on the grind and I gotta get it. And you gotta think big to be big.
right.
And that's how you gotta go.
Can I bring up the story that we was talking about, Greg, like about the fruit guy?
Oh yeah, bring it
That's a
up.
good motivational story. So this guy, so I go get these juices from this guy every time I see him or every chance that I get. He sells fruit on the street. You sell fruit on the street. And the second time I went to go talk to him, and this guy, side note, this guy is riding in a BMW like X7, the big bike. So I'm like, man, this dude's making this money selling fruit. So the second time I seen him, I was like, hey, like, what do you do trying to give information out? This dude makes
$4,000 a week on just selling fruit. And he kind of gave me the game a little bit. He was like, he go to Indianapolis to buy the fruit and then he resell it. But the way that I'm like, man, you're not on social media, you're not on any of the social media platforms. You just have a card and he just out in the street.
Hmm.
The first thing I thought about is the grind. Every day, same time, he goes at the same area to sell the fruit. People always passing by, seeing him with the fruit thing. And it's like, you know what? I'm hungry. I'm gonna stop there and grab some watermelon. And then the way he sell it, these watermelon, when I said looking at his sign, it says seed watermelon, not seedless, but seed watermelon. And I took that and I was like, wow, like how can somebody just every day have that grind and actually goes to, like, and it motivate me to say, hey, I'm not doing enough. I
And
need to
that's
go
how it
back
is.
to the, I need to go back to the drawing board, but just to say that you always can do better is what I'm saying. You always can do better. Just have that drive and don't ever give up on what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
what I want to do too is I know some people's in the comment too. So I know we're doing the show this time in, and if you guys have any questions to ask us, I'm looking at the live too. So this asks us a question. We got two guys that have been in business for a long time. We got a wealth of knowledge. And I know a lot of people that tune in this channel want to find out information that things that we've been through that we can share with you guys and save you thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I want to go back a little bit and give you an example. I have a family member that started doing business and started small and created pretty much created uh, a wealth of funding lines for his business. And at 53 years old, he's a millionaire. So, and to me, that's inspirational. And right now, I would say, even though I'm in here talking now, my wife is actually in the chat, and she she has so much knowledge of how to do stuff, and she'll tell you, I don't know how I came up with it, but she is the person that I go to when I have a stopping point, and I say, "Hey, what you think about this?" And it's just that conversation and collaboration with other business owners to say, "How do I get further? How do I expand this?" And just having somebody in your corner just to say, "How do I create something better than I'm creating right now?"
Mm.
And that's how you get after it also.
Mentor,
Yeah,
mentor, a mentor. Of course,
exactly.
we talk every day, so we
Oh yeah.
give each other mentors. So things that I don't know, Greg know things that I know I've been dealing with. It's all about. That's what I think the legacy is about: is creating a group of community and sharing that information, and changing lives.
Yeah.
Changing lives. That's the whole thing that we do. That's how I true heartedly it feeds your soul. That's what I love to do is change people's lives and see somebody and say, man, that happened. Like they a millionaire because we was talking and they end up taking that information and actually grinding it out and actually using it to become something in life.
Oh yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love to see that.
Yeah. And don't think of having a business as just to get ahead, just for you to be just for yourself, just to be make money and you put in your pocket. But you got to think of legacy is built through action, through business, through businesses. We create our legacy and we uplift communities. So that's how you got to look at having that business and being able to give back. And another thing that we watch, it says as you teach a person one thing, and they'll teach another a person something else. So
Mm,
you teach and grow, and you grow and teach.
that's good. I like that. I like that. Like that. So I want to give some homework too. I want to do some homework because what we're gonna do with this live, we're gonna do live Saturday, at least Saturday between Saturdays and Sundays, but we're gonna give y'all more than enough time to reach out and and go in the comments and ask those questions or reach out to us in the chat to we'll answer as many questions as possible. My friend's on here now. She's trying to start her little plant business, and I say, "Hey, what's going on?" But what I want to do is I want you guys to write out three goals for the week of what are you trying to work towards. What are you trying to work towards? Write those three goals down and evaluate exactly what you want to do in life in the next 10 years. Where you think that you want to be at in the next 10 years. Write down those three goals. And then whenever we go live Saturday or Sunday, I want you guys to go in the chat and read those out to us. And we can elaborate on those and share some information or if it's a good idea or it's something that can actually happen for you guys.
Yeah.
What you think? Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So,
And within those, and once you start creating or writing down three things that you want to do, you can start to visibly see a path of which way you want to go to start those small businesses. And you got to be adaptable is one of the main things you got to do. Be adaptable. Don't think that it's a critical financial burden to start a business. The first thing you got to do is look at, say, if you want to start, some people start a plant business, a t-shirt business, start small. You don't have to have all the equipment to start that business. You can do it other ways. And like Lana said at the beginning, everything is evolving around the smart world. And people say AI is the newest and biggest thing in the world, which it is, because with AI, you can create multiple goals, multiple objectives, multiple business scheme of plan, and be able to look at it and say, maybe I don't want to do this, but let me tailor it. And you can have different systems, different AI that you can put prompts in, or you can put business objectives in, and it will give you tailored outline of, if you don't want to do this, this is the route you can go. And it provides you a roadmap to be successful. It's not just because it's AI don't mean you're going to be successful, but it's the person that's behind those goals and objectives that will make it successful. So you have to have that drive and determination.
right. You know what I'm gonna do for our first channel? Greg, I'm sorry, for my first channel. What I want to do is I'm gonna give out a couple of prompts that they can use to start off with. To actually that you could input in ChatGPT to help them start the three to help
Business plan.
three business things. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. So if you can, I'm gonna put it before we get off of here. I'm gonna actually put those prompts. I'm gonna actually once we post the video, then I'll put it in the comment to actually go from there. I want the next week when we actually go live, then I want to see exactly what we found based off the prompt. You know,
Oh yeah. And like we constantly say, fear is the start. If you fear something, you're starting something because you're actually doing. And when you think about it, start small, but start. Because you can come back and say, I'm gonna start a business. Wake up the next week, I'm gonna start a business. But you're not getting after those goals. You're not following up on it. So follow up on it. And that's the foundational piece of it, is just to start. And once you start and you have that plan, and you start to create your small folders of, this is where I want to be in my 30 days. This is where I want to be in my 60 days. This is my 90-day goals. You have to set those goals to get there, and reach out to people that have a business and that are successful, and don't be scared to just go up to someone and say, hey, how did you start your business? And sometimes it's not the person that is the wealthiest person. It's the person that is, you see, that's always at work, always getting after it. They have the knowledge because they're the ones that's making the money from the true determination and the true power of self. People that have money that has a business and you barely see them, somebody else is working for them. And that's where you want to be, is to get after what you are, what you want to do, and you build your own business based on your platform. So you don't worry about somebody else to say, of their platform looks like this, it's the platform that you build to be successful.
Right, right. And somebody having a question in the chat that says, "What if you're not AI savvy? What if you're not AI savvy?"
I can tell you, I I've always been into computers and always been kind of dealing with computers. It doesn't matter if you're not AI savvy. So you can go online and start to just play around with it.
Hmm.
And when we say prompts, you put certain prompts into an AI,
Yeah,
it'll start to give you answers. But as you start to put prompts in, you start to realize that what if I change this verb in this sentence so I can get a better outcome? That's all AI is. AI is it does help you do work, but it doesn't do all the work because it needs the person behind the keyboard to type it in.
right.
And and if you are just not AI savvy at all, that's another thing that we're gonna start to promote through this channel is to provide provide QuickBooks or books for you to be able to follow step-by-step guides, or you can just reach out to us in the chat and we can send you some quick links, or we can send you some documents to help you better develop yourselves in technology.
Right. And when we do post this video, I'm gonna create a group that we can go in there, and everybody that's on here today will get in there for free, where we can just chat and share information based on things that they're trying to do. We're here to help. We're here to share information. Especially with me, I'm really deep into AI, really deep in AI. I do a lot of the things that you'd think that I have 100 people working for me, but it's only me. That's just how I use the prompts, use the systems that is provided. And every day the AI systems are getting it's getting so better that you can run literally make be a multi-million dollar, multi-millionaire based off of you running and having the knowledge on how to run it.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah, and especially with AI, you gotta think, look at some of the factories that we have where people are being outworked by computers.
mm,
And we have, as small business owners, we have to be able to adapt to the AI because we will be outcompeted in technology. If we're not able to adapt and utilize some of the steps or some of the processes in the new world of technology, we're going to be outcompeted. And one thing that I wrote down is the pace of change often outstrips internal capacity to adapt. So basically, that's saying if you're not set with a pace like running a race, if you're running a race and you're just that same pace the whole time, you're never going to get ahead to get in first place. You're just going to be mediocre. So you have to adapt to pace. Pace for us in this world now is moving at fast. And if you look at some of the stuff in the news and some of the stuff that's going on within companies, big companies and big pharmaceuticals and the big 500 companies, they're using AI to get ahead. They don't have the normal people sitting behind a desk doing the mission creep or doing, what is it, doing the research, none of that stuff. They're using AI to do this research for them.
mm,
And then if you look at some of the commercials, most of the commercials that you see on TV are all AI.
they're ready. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not. The people that you see in some commercials are not really. It's all
I'm super excited. Like I have so many ideas running through here now. Like I know we don't, we could talk for days, but you can literally run a multi-million dollar company from home using AI. Using AI. It's just a matter of putting your ideas on paper, figuring out exactly what you want to do, coming up with a game plan, and then do your research. Do your research and actually launch.
AI.
Um, nothing is another thing too is nothing is going to be perfect. Launch, launch, launch. Nothing is never going to be perfect. You can adjust after the launch because the more you wait, the more you're going to start delaying. The more that fear is going to kick in, the more that you're gonna get like, I'm awake the next day to do this, and then it can become months and then years, and then you sitting there, you're gonna become a what if person.
Mhm.
And you say, I could have did that if I would have did this, and right now is the best time to jump on anything that you're trying to do because what AI have and what the internet in a whole and what you can do, it's the best time to do it. Best time to do it. So, but we don't want to keep you guys on here too long. We're gonna next week we're gonna come with some more subjects to actually go into. We're gonna start going more and more into. We're gonna probably start off with the second episode of talking about how to structure your business. That's why we talk about the homework because we want to kind of give you guys the information based off of what you need from us. And we'll kind of go off there and then we take it as the steps. We're gonna do it that way instead of going all over the place. We just do it where if somebody just starting brand new in a business, we're gonna give them how to structure their business. If they need to do a DBA or LLC or and what I mean by DBA is doing business as, that's the cheapest way you can do it. Just a little bit of knowledge. That's the cheapest way to do it to start your business. And then from there, you can go to DBA to LLC. LLC is a limited liability company. And then, A corporation and a C corporation. That's the big Pepsi Cola and all the big companies that do all that stuff. So we'll break all that stuff down in the next episode, and we'll talk about a little bit more about how to how to gain from that when you're filing your taxes.
Oh yeah, and so and what I do is for the next episode, structuring a new business, we'll do like a small outline to say this is how you structure when you're starting a business as DBA or LLC.
Mm-mm.
Here's the steps, the initial steps of going online, applying for those licenses and so forth. And we'll drop that in the initial portion of the next episode.
Right. So to what I want to do to end the episode is do a quote for the week. So this quote is kind of hitting home too because this is what like we deal with every day. So I'm gonna read it out here. Don't aspire to make a living, meaning don't settle for less. Aspire to make a difference. It don't matter what difference you make, if it's in your lives or your kids' lives, whatever give you motivation to make a difference. Do that in every day that you wake up. It don't matter if you have a 9 to 5. If you aspire to become somebody or become a manager in your 9 to 5, or you aspire to get to the next level in your business, always aspire to make a difference. So next time, you guys, welcome to Legacy in Motion. I'm Lonnie.
I'm Greg.
All right, we get to see you guys next week. Happy Sunday.